Yeah, yeah, okay. We'll see what happens, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Where's our Jax? Jacqueline. Maybe Ivan, are you able to? Thank you. Cool. Thanks, everyone. We're going to get into the word. We've got about 20 minutes left. That's perfect timing. Yay. I wasn't sure how this would work today and whether by adding in a few things we might end up running over, but I reckon we can do it. So we are looking at faithful stewards as you found out from the video. Like my egg cracking skills are not that great, right? There was a few, yeah, the parents can go down if you want to go down the back. Otherwise, just stay up here and enjoy the message. All right, so we're looking more in depth at the last of Peter's keys from our Acts of the Apostles, from disciples to leaders. And that is, Peter is faithful with what he is given. So let's remind ourselves of the passage first, where Peter learns the value of being a faithful steward. In John 21, we read the story which occurred after Jesus died, and then in between then and when he was resurrected, okay? So here we go. John chapter 21, verse 4 to 5. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" "No," they answered. He said, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple, whom Jesus loved, said to Peter, "It is the Lord." As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from shore, about 100 yards. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals there with fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you have caught." So Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153. But even with so many, the net was not torn. So as I had previously mentioned in Peter's keys, on the face of it, it looked like Peter was doing the right thing, jumping out of the boat and just going for it, just finding Jesus on the shore. But when we think about it, he left his harvest, the catch, the things that Jesus had just given him, that big catch of fish, which we know is the souls of men, he left that in the boat. He left that with the other disciples, and swam to shore. So he wasn't being faithful with what Jesus had given him. So this is what we looked at previously. So by leaving the boat, Peter was actually neglecting the gift Jesus had given him. And later we see Peter climb back into the boat, and he was restored. He grabbed one of the fish that Jesus had asked to bring back. So it's a prophetic picture of the many people who would come to know the Lord through the apostles' work, through their diligence of carrying out the purposes and plans of God that Jesus had prepared for them. So if the apostles had not progressed from being learners to being apostles, and had maybe continued on just pursuing God for their own sort of selfish gain, like Peter jumping out of the boat, the prophetic picture would have looked very different, right? You see, we can't remain as pew sitters. Time is too short because people need to hear the gospel. Jesus said the harvest is plentiful, but the labourers are few. And all of us have a part to play. He has given us gifts. He has given us a mouth to speak. He has given us so much. We can't just leave it to ones that are active in the community, like Steve with his Christian surfers, and Margot with Mainly Music, and Jax with a glow. We can't just leave it to those ones that are doing something in the community to share the gospel, but we can do that ourselves. I want to share 2 harvest dreams that I had just to encourage you that God is working on our behalf. He is working. So the first one was just after, probably about a week after I sort of came into this position, I had this dream about a boat. And it was a boat that I saw, and it had, the whole bottom of it was filled with fish. And right in the middle of it was this kingfish. And this had been given to, it was like a prophetic picture of the church, that God's harvest was coming in, that he was gifting us people. The community was going to come alive and hear about Jesus. And right in the center was the kingfish, who represented Jesus. So that was like God was just saying, if we put Jesus in the center of everything we do, then he will gather the people. He will bring the harvest in. So that was the first one that I had. And the second one was just this last week. And this is, I'm really excited about this. So I was walking down Waihi Beach Road up the top end, where all the orchards are. And I was walking down there, and I looked behind me, and I saw this train. And it was like a train, just one carriage, but it wasn't like a traditional train. It was like this kind of modern look sort of train carriage, and it had, it was sort of the silver colour. And so I realised, as it was coming down the road, I realised that it was full of people that were coming for the harvest. They were coming to harvest in the orchards. They were the orchard workers coming in to harvest. And I woke up and I realised the train represents a move of God. That's what trains mean in dreams, is a move of God. And so this was a prophetic picture of the help that was coming, that God was bringing his angelic force, his spirit, to come and to harvest what is out there, the people that are out there. So it was a really exciting picture. I was really excited when I woke up because I knew God is on the move. God is doing something. What really struck me was that the carriage was modern. It wasn't like a traditional kind of looking carriage, right? So I believe the move of God is going to be something really new. It's not something perhaps that we've seen before, a traditional looking revival, but a revival that looks different. So so that's really, really exciting. I'm really excited about that. Where am I? So what has God given you for his kingdom? What do you have to offer to the lost souls in our community? In Matthew 5, Jesus gives this parable. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man travelling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability, and immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them, and made another 5 talents. And likewise he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. So it was a little bit like me putting that egg in the pocket. I was putting it away and just forgetting about it until all of a sudden sat down and made a mess. That wasn't a very nice feeling, by the way. Don't ever put an egg in your pocket, okay? We need to steward the gifts God has given us. We need to be like clay in his hands and allow him to mold us in the way that he wants to use us in whatever creative way that he has for our purpose. Let's not allow ourselves to stop short of the mark. We can't allow ourselves to become complacent or fearful to step out into faith and who God designed us to be, because he's designed us all to be something different. We all have something unique to give, which is awesome. We don't have to be the same as the person sitting next to us. That God made us all different for a reason and a purpose. Paul urges in Timothy 2, or 2 Timothy verse 1. No, it's not. Oh, it is, sorry. Chapter 1. 2 Timothy chapter 1, let's get it right. Therefore, I remind you to stir up the gift of God which is in you, through the laying on of my hands. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Sometimes we can be fearful to step out. But if we just give God our yes, he will enable us to do things because he is the one who strengthens us. So this was a really short message. Sorry, I just gone ripping right through it. What's that, Jax? Huh? You want to add to it? Yes, absolutely. Jax, come up. We have got time, yeah. I think because I was going to do a little review and then I thought, we've got all the videos and everything like that. It's just going to go over time, so I took the review out. So let's hear Jax. This is awesome. This is off-the-cuff prophecy time for you. Yeah.
Not quite, no. I wasn't going to share this, but the moment came up, so that's cool. What Ngaire was talking about up there, God is so persistent. The same message is coming through all the time, right? And with opportunities in different forms to find out what it is he's telling you. I don't think anybody here is dead, so I won't ask for a show of hands, although, yeah, maybe you might feel a little bit dead inside. But if you think you're retired, could that be you? If you think you're retired, God says, no, you are not. Absolutely not. If you're not dead, he's not done. You know, this message is coming through consistently. He's got something for you to do. Mari's going to be exploring it in the Women Learning to Soar, finding out what it is, that identity, finding out where God's nudging you to next. It's a 6-week course and it's marvellous. I've done it. Encourage you to do it. If you're a woman, fabulous. If you haven't got that time to give, there is a 1-day opportunity. I found out it's in the Mount. Chris Nathan from Christchurch, who is part of the Aglow National Board and overseer for Game Changers Identity course. I misinformed you last time. Game Changers was written by Graham Cook, who's very, very prophetic man. They'll be facilitating an identity workshop with Di Schuler, who's a national regional leader in the Mount on May 17. So it's just a one day, talking about how our identity is established, how heaven and God know us, how God reveals our unique identity to us, the importance of Scripture, the Rhema word highlighted to us, the role of prophetic words, motivational gifts, creating a personal identity statement. I think it dovetails really nicely with what Mari is doing. It's not taking away from it. It's just another opportunity. Mari says 6 weeks you go deep diving. This is a one-day opportunity. They said last year we began praying about holding an identity course, and God said, look, let's just do this because it's needed. We need the workers on the ground. The workers need to find out what it is they're capable of if they don't already know. In India, we heard about a pastor over there, reasonably new at the job, and they had an explosion of new believers to the point that he had 1 million new believers across India he didn't know what to do with. He's now got Tak Bana as a mentor. Church Unlimited have got a new believers department. If you can imagine a church big enough to have a new believers department. But this is what's happening. You know, we need to be the new believers department down here, I think. Yeah, but we need to find out what our role is for it. So, yeah, go for gold. Go for gold.
It's a great tool. So I can see Mari getting ready to... Do you want this mic? It might be.
So all this, thank you, all this talk about trains brought back to mind a picture I was given. My husband and I were managing the Manor Healing Centre in the Taranaki, and this was 2014. And we were having a staff prayer meeting down in the chapel. And what I saw was a platform, a train platform. A train had pulled in and parked, and the platform was full of these people who were not getting on board, who were not getting into the train. They were kind of like, oh, this is new, we don't know where it's going. Oh, what should we do now? Are you sure we're called to go on this train? And I was the one, surprise, who was kind of herding them in, you know, and going, come on, don't miss out, get on this train, get on board. And then, and so most of them got on, but some of them didn't because they couldn't handle the strangeness, the difference. And so suddenly I was aware I have got one moment to get on board myself. So I gave one more yahoo for everyone to get on, and I leapt into the train. But guess where I went? I went into the driver's cab. Because I wasn't driving, don't worry, but I just wanted to see where we were going. This is so exciting, the time we're living in. That picture was for the nation. We are part of this nation. Let's get excited. Let's jump in the driver's cab. Let's have a look. Where are we going? Round this bend. What's up ahead? Let's go. Let's be the people who bring the gospel to this district. From, I think, Katikati or further apata, right through to Paeroa. That seems to be our loose border, but we welcome anyone. But it's just got this sense, now's the time, this is the day. Let's get on board. Let's really enjoy the train ride.
That's so good. Yeah, that's a great picture, eh? Great vision. Yeah, just something also that just reminded me on the way here. I felt like the Lord was speaking. I don't know if you remember, we showed a video last year of Matt Lansdowne. He had a prophecy he spoke a prophecy while he was walking on the beach, and he videoed it. And it was about how he saw Jesus in the bush, so that he was going along the road in his car, but the centre line went off, and it went off the road and into the bush. And so he followed that centre line, and it took him to Jesus, who was in the bush. So the road that he was travelling on was the well-beaten road, the this is how we do things road, and then but he was following the centre line, and Jesus was actually off the road. He was in the bush. He was doing something different. And this morning when I drove and I was thinking about, all that we were going to do today and the newness of it, and then I just looked down on the road and I saw this, obviously someone had a crash, right? But there was these massive, big, thick tyre marks that were going off the road and off to the side there. And in that moment, the Lord just brought that prophecy back to me. This is what He's doing. He's taking us off road, and it's pioneering. It's a little bit scary, and it's going to feel a little uncomfortable and a bit different, look a bit different. But I believe that our church is full of such amazing creative people, and we can get on board and come up with fresh new ideas of the way we can do things. Awesome. Yeah, everybody, we want everybody to get on board with this. Awesome. So that is unless anyone else has got anything to share, that is our service. So bless you all. Please do stick around, have a good old chat with your neighbour there, and we do have coffee across the road at the porch as well. So if you want a nicer coffee rather than our little instant coffee stand down there, please join us for that. And have a great week. And tonight, Encounter tonight, we have